All right, everybody, we are back. Hope you had a good day of trading today. Had a little bit of a reversal or a little turnaround, I guess. A couple bars pumping up on some of the stocks. Some of them just kind of paused and didn't do much anything. So we're going to talk about what we are expecting to happen in Thursday on Thursday and into Friday, and got a little warning caution at the end of the video about the weekend. All right, so let's get at it and let's get to it, and we'll figure out what we have to do about it. All right, so like I always say, we got to go. All right, first up is going to be the S&P. All right, so we got the S&P, and the S&P is kind of did a little pause in here. Didn't come down to retest this 5,878 area here, but it's still showing some weakness. Had a little indecision bar here. You know, it's about even. The buyers are about as even as the sellers. So that little fat doji there is an indication that we got some indecision going on, and we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow and into Friday. All right. And next up is the Bitcoin, and Bitcoin continued to push downward. Then it had a little pause, so we got a little doji here. We get below our channel, and we may be coming down in here to close this window, and I believe that's where we're going with Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin is going to continue to sell off and close that window, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to get out of Bitcoin. Next up is oil, and oil just kind of chopping around down here. I think this is probably going to be its bottom down in here somewhere at around $67, because right now it's kind of losing its momentum. It was pushing hard here and pushed hard here, but now see you got these two little bars coming in, so things are kind of slowing down for oil. So maybe they might want to rest in this area and do this little range thing again. All right. Next up is the E-mini S&P 500, and still selling. Still have a little sell indication here. Some indecision going on in here recently here in these two, and but I think we're gonna resolve that tomorrow and heading into this weekend. I don't think anybody wants to be sticking around coming this weekend. Next up is the Ethereum, and Ethereum continues to sell off along with Bitcoin. And next up is gold. And gold ran into that ceiling, put in this little bar down here, and then put in this little doji here, and now taking that out. So if we get down in here and close below this 20 SMA, most likely we're going to continue to sell off in gold. But we're looking for some support right now, right in this area around 2,800. If we can get some support, that'd be great. But if not, we're coming down in here to this 2801. All right. Next up is natural gas, and natural gas is still trying to find some support around here at $3.93. Doesn't seem to be trying to break through it, so it might be a good sign that we may be consolidating in here before trying to retest that $4 area. But currently it's still in the uptrending market and it's still bullish. Alright, next up is the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ has found some support at 20,983. So it's just kind of bouncing around in here right now, trying to get some things together and make itself look better and stronger to go higher and retest. Alright, but right now we have to keep an eye on this and make sure this support area holds. And this area used to be, as we can see back over here, was a resistance area, right? And then it became support. Now it's support area. So if it breaks down, then we're probably going to come all the way back down into here. So we don't want that to break down and get below our trade winds. All right, next up is the silver, and silver, uh, same thing as the other ones. You know, they're all just kind of slowly trickling downwards, selling off. So be careful with all these, with the whole stock market as a whole. I'm gonna say because everything is looking like it's just slowly trying to lull you to sleep just before it goes bam and crash on us. All right, so be careful with this stuff. Looks like everything is looking kind of weak right now, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So do your due diligence, but yeah, be careful and be careful. And did I say be careful? All right, next up, Apple. And Apple, oh, put in that couldn't do it much longer. It just had to finally give up on it. It was testing, and then boom, broke down. Looking for some support around 237. If that breaks down, then we're coming back down into here at 214. If that breaks down, we're heading back down to 197. Got a window open down here at 173. So I think that may be where we're going. A lot of these larger cap stocks are reconciling their windows right now. You may have noticed. I don't know if you noticed that, but a lot of doing all this selling we've been doing, and a lot of them have been coming back and shutting those garage doors that they left open when they left home and took off. Now they're like, oh, we got to head back and close that stuff so we can go away again. So take another vacation. So vacation's over. They're on their way back home to shut all these windows. All right. Next up is Albemarle. I hate saying that name. I can't say it. But anyway, it's a nice little push down, push up, push down, push up. And now we're ready to do another leg down, it looks like. If we don't get any support here at 72, then 45 is the next target. All right, next up is AMC. AMC had a lot of volume today, but it didn't really do anything. It wasn't a lot of volume. I'm sorry, it wasn't. Yeah, it's a big number, but it's not. It's not a lot. But nothing to say here. Next up is Amazon, and we got this push down. Look at that pin bar; it pushed back up. Then we got a little doji here. Couldn't break through this area and find any support at 217. So moving averages are rolling over to force it down. So we're gonna have a little war going on in here between our averages, and we'll see who wins out. But right now, Amazon is currently bearish in a bull market. All right. Next up is APLD, Applied Digital Corp, and Applied Digital Corp put in a nice pin bar up to $12.48, but then it's since sold off, coming back down to the moving averages, which is not a bad look at the moment. But you know, it's going to take a day or two so we can get an idea what it wants to do, if it wants to come back up and retest or not. Currently, though, it looks kind of, especially with this doji here, we have to see what happens tomorrow and into Friday. Tomorrow and into Friday, if we're down here anywhere, I suspect we're going to continue to sell off going into Monday, Tuesday, and should be looking for some support down around $3 on this one. All right, next up is APP, AppLovin. I don't know where I got this one from. I just don't know. But I'm going to take it out. Well, I might leave it. Anyway, it's sell off. You can see it's selling. It's got a window down here to close. And that was a $500 stock for it. I think I remember this thing gapping up or something. But anyway, it's selling off, and it's going to close this window down here before it does anything else, I believe. Matter of time, how long it takes to do it, but it's coming down to reconcile this window. All right, next up is BRAI, Big Bear Holdings, and it too is selling off. Had a little window here, so they're probably going to try to shut that and then go back and retest. But yeah, it looks like a bear in a bull market. Let's see what happens as the days roll on. All right, next up is BITI, and that is the inverse of Bitcoin, and you can see it's going up because Bitcoin is doing what? Going down. All right, so be careful of the Bitcoin, because right now we got a little fry pan bottom coming into this short Bitcoin, so we might get a pop out of this one real soon. Shut that window that it opened, and so that will help us to reconcile this window that we have open here in Bitcoin. See what I'm saying? Similar, huh? Similar. So that's BITI, inverse of Bitcoin. Next up is Cake, Cheesecake Factory, and Cheesecake Factory is still trying to hang on in there in this area in between here, between $52 and $56. So currently it's a buy the dip on Cheesecake Factory, but be careful because we're getting into the end of the month. Next up is Comcast, and Comcast has closed that window. I didn't quite close it, so it's still got a little bit of movement to go higher. Don't know if that's what it's going to do, but right now it's in a down market and it's selling off. Got close to closing that window, but it looks like it wants to come back down here and retest that support area down there. Alright, next up is Chipotle Mexican Grill, and Chipotle Mexican Grill got our 50% and it sold off a little bit, but look like in the morning, it depends on how it's going to look tomorrow morning, but we may open up around this 50% area again, and then who knows what's going to happen. We may push higher or we may just sell off and go lower. So we have to see what happens with that, but we know we're at 50%, so look for a W possible. Pull down, push up, pull back, and then back higher. Or we could do like how we're doing here, down, across, and down. So we might consolidate a little bit before selling off. Put in that lightning bolt. But just be ready for what may come, and act accordingly. All right, but don't be panicking in here. Don't put on more than you can afford to lose. All right, that way you won't panic. All right, so but yeah, definitely is some resistance in here, quite a bit. And so if we do push up in here again tomorrow, then look for a sell-off into Friday. All right, next up is CNP, Centerpoint Energy, and Centerpoint Energy continues to test that 3444 area. That one you want to buy the dip on now, buy the pullback at least, and retest that high. But that's just a dollar move, so I don't know if you want to waste your time on that unless you got big dollars to put at it. Get it down here at 33 and push it up to 34 and let it go. What seems to be going on here. They're just moving sideways in this channel. So next up, Corsair. Corsair Gaming. Oh, nice green bar today. Um, be careful with this one. It's coming back up to retest this 1268 again, I believe. But we got the 20 SMA coming up to assist. Um, Not a bad bar for this one. So we'll see what happens with this. Not quite sure. I think it kind of feels like it wants to consolidate in this area and then go higher. So give this one some time. Let's see what happens. I feel some consolidation going on here before going higher. So we'll see what happens and act accordingly, right? All right. Next up is Crowd. And Crowd got a few sell bars. Got a little push up today. Didn't get quite halfway up, so, and this looks like halfway up right here. Right? So, yeah, be careful there. What am I going to use for that? Let's just make it gray for now. Nah, I can't use gray. Sorry. Change it back. That would just be our caution. So let me make a yellow caution tape. Caution tape. That's what that is. Alright. I'll make it look more like caution tape. Caution. Caution. There you go. That's our caution. Alright, so as we can see here, it pushed up, ran into some resistance there, sold off a little bit, and then it pushed on higher. So we got a little bit of push back up into here. That's going to be our resistance area again. So either we're going to continue higher, or we're going to pull back and find some support here somewhere, and then go back higher, or something of that nature. But definitely coming back into this area here that was a resistance. So suspect resistance again in that area on Crowd. Yeah, I have to fix that. Put Crowd in there with this ticker. All right, next up is CSWC. And it's back up into this area here that's been was a window open, and now it's just a vacuum area that has action to this area. So so as we can see, it's kind of bouncing around in between these two range, between 23.86 and 23. So alright, so that's Capital Southwest Corporation. Next up is DKL, and DKL continues to sell. Oh, I didn't see that happen. When did that happen today? What the? Look at that bad boy. Found some support, put in a little, I don't know if that's a pin bar or not, but put in two little whippersnappers there. What do you want to call them? I don't know what to call them. Anyway, put in a double pointer down here, and then I put it in a nice big green bar and in a doji. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with this one, if it's going to sell off and come back down in here and retest this area, or if it's going to continue to push higher. Next up is drip. As we know, oil continues to sell, so drip continues to go higher. Inverse of oil. Alright, next up is EXE, Expand Energy. And Expand Energy is feeling the pain of oil selling off, I think, because it too is beginning to sell off. So, if we get a break down below here, and it's looking kind of weak, even though it's in a bullish market, it's looking kind of weak right now. We know oil is kind of weak, so you could probably play this right to the downside, and yeah. So this one's definitely looking like a sell. Coming back in here to retest our moving averages. Here are our trade wins, and it also has this window open at $87. So we're looking at about a $20 move on Expand Energy to the downside. Next up is Grayscale Bitcoin, and Grayscale Bitcoin continues to sell off because Bitcoin is selling off, and this one is starting to pick up some speed. It's gapping down instead of just walking down or whatever. Next up, GameStop. GameStop has been getting hammered. Not being very nice to GameStop. Well, we're down in our trade wins here. Put in this little gravestone doji. So be looking for the reversal or the continue to sell off. All right, we need to. Next up is Rocket Lab, and Rocket Lab kind of put in a little bit of a pause for now. Set to open up a little bit above this 2134 area. All right, trying to come back up and make a little V bottom and retest this 2486. If it gets up above that and has a close and shows some support, then maybe we'll retest this 27, and if we can get above that, and just keep going higher. But right now, it's still bullish, but has bearish signs to it, and but set to open up higher in the morning. So keep an eye on Rocket Lab, and check it out come morning. Palantir. Same thing, put in a little doji. If we open up green, we might go higher. If we open up red, we might go lower. Alright, that's all I got for tonight. I will see you in the morning. Give you my update for in the morning. And we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because the first one is going to become, not the first one, but we're going to have one for you in the morning. So be ready for the one in the morning before the market opens, alright? So, be careful out there. These markets are crazy. Oh, and before we go, sorry, I almost forgot. Trump says tariffs on Canada and Mexico will go forward. Alright, President Donald Trump sweeping U.S. tariffs and imports in Canada and Mexico will go forward when a month-long delay on their implementation expires next week. So next week we're expecting some market turmoil. Let's call it turmoil. Let's say that. Let's make it sound like it's something. Market turmoil next week. Be looking forward to that. As we get back into the tariffs and as we see what really happens once everybody that does anything for us has to pay a little extra. See what happens where that little extra pay goes. Alright, but I think the last time Trump did this kind of thing, it worked out pretty well for us, so we'll see what happens this time. Alright, so you guys have a good evening tonight, and I'll talk to you in the morning. All right. Or talk at you.